tell us who you are, where you're from. And let me make sure all these things are popping up at me. And it is May. May is really crazy for things. There you go. All right, we got YouTube going. We realized Auburn. I love Amanda. I love you're there. Tulsa. This is great. And make sure to the chat is weird. It defaults to host and panelist. So make sure it's set to everyone. And that way everybody can see like Mary and Robin, Tulsa and Dublin. I love that. I always love our overseas people that show up because I know that it is definitely a time commitment for y'all to be here at this time at a different time of day. So, a couple things. One, if you are watching the replay and you have any follow up questions after you watch it, you can always email us hello@simplepinmedia.com. Or if something happens and there's something where you can't get all of it, just email us too as well. We will be sending out a replay to your email so you can catch that also. But knowing that May is crazy, knowing that this time of year is just really busy, I want to honor just the hour that we have here. I might even go a little bit faster because that is my nature. But the essence of why we do these classes, why we teach this is that we constantly hear from small business owners that things are changing, things are shifting. The online space is so different these days. Google is different, Pinterest is different. And I just find that at the rapid change of pace, people tend to spin out, especially about Pinterest. And even when I was at a conference this last week, some of the same frustrations with SEO were some of the same frustrations with Pinterest. And a lot of people just felt like there's so much advice out there. I hear all these things. I don't know what is right. And ultimately, when we come back down to the core issue, it's really that there's not this solid core. I have a Pinterest marketing plan that fits my business. So even if I hear from other people or other things are happening or ideas are swirling, there isn't that like, I know what's mine and I know it works for me. Because even in the room that I was in, some people were like, video on Pinterest is crushing it for me. And some people were like, video is terrible. So the whole essence behind this is we want to talk a little bit high level today about how you can create a Pinterest marketing plan for your business and what I believe are the non negotiables. Like these are the things I'm going to give you five, but these are the things that I always know are the basis of a good Pinterest marketing plan. So everybody ready? Everybody ready to go? Bright and early? I know it's 10 a.m. here. I'm sure in Ireland it's like 7 p.m. I think you guys are like 8 hours ahead. But here we go. So first and foremost, Simple Pin Media, the company that I run, we are always committed to bringing you the most accurate, current, and data-driven information when it comes to Pinterest. And like I said, I know there's a lot of advice, and we will never, ever be the people who will tell you that we know something when we don't. So commonly, you might hear me say, I don't know, I'll get back to you on that. But we still remain true to that commitment with our background, our history, our experience, that we want to give you the best Pinterest advice that you can go and create your own plan with. I'm also committing to helping your business grow using Pinterest because I'm doing the same thing. I know that there's lots of different options out there. There's almost too many options, right? Like we have 100 different social media platforms. We have email marketing. We have it all. But I do know from not only our clients and our students and myself that Pinterest is working for people to get what they want for their business. I am also going to share with you our new program. We just introduced it last April, the Inner Circle. I'm going to talk about that at the end, but this is a key component of crafting that Pinterest marketing plan. It's a 6-week mastermind, and we had our first group of students go through, and I'll share with you some of their takeaways at the end, some of their wins, but it was super cool in reaching that goal of helping people craft a plan that was catered to their business. That program is fully built, it's set up, and it is ready to help you with all of these resources get your own Pinterest marketing plan. But again, we're going to talk about that at the end, but I want to let you know that's really a big part of what I think the key is to crafting a Pinterest marketing plan. Is it for you? The program is for beginner or intermediate level people when it comes to Pinterest marketing. And frankly, I think those who don't really want to waste time with courses or buying a bunch of individual products. They want to get it set up the right way. It is also those for people who have started on Pinterest and they're wondering, am I doing it right? Those who are frustrated with the information changing every 2 weeks, and they clearly want a roadmap just to give them a pathway towards growth. So I want to talk about the struggle. So through our town halls and even through that conference that I went to last week, people are confused with Pinterest. They're wondering what type of services, what type of pins they need to create, and what things are going to get clicks. They're worried about keywords. They're worried about timing of pins. There's a lot of confusion out there right now when it comes to Pinterest. So when I shared recently about my own development of my marketing plan, I had a lot of people respond to that email. And people were really curious about how did I come up with a plan and what was my plan to execute on that to really get results. So I'm going to share with you today what I think the 3 elements you need that helped me create my own Pinterest marketing plan, help me go back to the drawing board to say, yes, this is what I need from Pinterest in 2024. So I guess I would say, what do you want from Pinterest in 2024? I think that's the basis of any good plan. And you really have to think through the why, because I think it's easy to get caught up in saying, well, I'm just using Pinterest because everybody else is using it. So if that's you and you've been caught in that, like, well, I'm just using it because everybody told me, comment that in the box. I would love to hear from you if you have fallen into that trap just like me. But I can tell you, here's what I want from Pinterest in 2024. I want more outbound clicks from Pinterest. Why? Because I know that that will lead to more email subscribers. I also know for me that will lead to more sales of my digital products. I don't have physical products, but I know for a lot of people recently, I've talked to people who've gotten so creative with physical products. Just recently, I talked to somebody at the conference who they were getting a lot of traffic with the Masters. And she said Masters. And I was like, what are you talking about? The golf tournament. And I went and looked at her website and she had this cool traffic flow coming from Pinterest. And she had these blog posts about the Masters and ended up creating these physical products. That's what she wanted from Pinterest. So again, I would answer yes to all of these, just like you want those things as well. So I say that to say at Simple Pin Media, we're not just working to solve these problems for our clients or for me, but we're working to find solutions for companies like yours as well. So at the beginning of the year, people asked me if Pinterest was still worth it then. So if I want all these things from it, am I going to get it? Is it going to get results? So I got curious and I went to my team and I said, all right, tell me, like, I want to prove it. Does Pinterest still work for people? So I asked them to share with me screenshots of our clients. And these were taken on February 8th of this year. These are 90-day screenshots. And frankly, we're kind of going into the lowest traffic time at this time, but this is for content creators, e-commerce sellers, or even a hybrid of both. So obviously we love green arrows. They're like amazing. And I don't think everybody's arrows will always be green, but from consistently doing the things that we know work, and you will get results over the long haul. And I want to say, like, this is not an overnight success story. Some of these people have been really working at Pinterest for 3-4 years. They've been doing things the wrong way and then they do them the right way. But consistency matters on Pinterest. A lot of people will ask me, like, does consistency really matter? Do I need to pin every day? Yes, you need to pin every day. It's really, really important. Plus, it gives you the opportunity to try new things. And I don't share these screenshots lightly. And here's why. Because I know that I've fallen into the trap before of looking at screenshots and thinking that's what's going to work for me too. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But I do know when I stretch it out over the long haul, maybe even a year, I can see results. I know that the tactics that we're using work. Do they work right away? Nothing on Pinterest works right away. And I'm going to be transparent about that because anybody who tells you that Pinterest can work like immediately for you is not telling you the truth. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I love that you're here. I love that you took an hour out of your day to listen to me share these successes with you and how we're going to help you get the green arrows on Pinterest. So let's get started. If you don't know who I am Kate All. I'm an agency owner, and I'm simply a woman who started Pinterest marketing in late 2012. I got on Pinterest when it was invite only, and then I started working for a friend on her blog, and I saw potential. And in 2013, after the great Facebook ad introduction, people were looking for a place to share their content to get traffic. And nobody knew how to make this leap from personal use of Pinterest to business use of Pinterest. So I stepped in at that time and really helped people figure out how they could do that, something that could bring leads and people interested in their products and their content. So in 2014, I started Simple Pin Media with one goal in mind. In fact, I told somebody this the other day, and I forget to say it, but it was very intentional for me to add simple into the name of my business because I didn't want anything to be complicated, because I knew business owners had 100 things on their plate. They had all these things happening. They were thinking about, SEO and Facebook, and it was swirling. And so I wanted to make Pinterest marketing easier for small business owners. And my initial goal as an agency was to take it off their plate. But then after managing for hundreds of clients, people were asking me to teach them. So I went into courses, I went into memberships, I went into digital products. And then I started a podcast, and I really started to become this person who wanted to not only investigate Pinterest, but could teach people, okay, how can you do this for you? Because we know there's lots of different business owners in their journey, whether they're starting out and they don't have a lot of money to invest, or they want to hire us for their services. They're all over. But the common theme was make it simple, make it digestible, and don't overcomplicate it. So I'm a business owner too. I want things to be simple. I want them to be powerful, and I want them to be effective. My team will tell you I love bullet points. I do not have time to waste. I'm not interested in it. So when things feel really spread thin, when they feel overwhelming, I just can't do it. And so I understand the pain point when you get to that point of you're like, there's so much information out there. There is a lot of information, but we are sharing our information from managing over 540 Pinterest accounts. It's probably more now because I added that up a couple months ago. 10 years of experience. I've coached over 1,000 students. We're a Pinterest pioneer, and mostly we're an advocate for small business owners using Pinterest. Like I said, I will never teach anything that I don't know has worked or that I've tried myself. So there's me. Now you know a little bit about me, but let's talk about you. Our inner circle member that just went through our program, I wanted to share this first because I think it's what really embodies my hope for everybody. And when I met with them in the final call, somebody said, I finally nailed down a Pinterest strategy that worked for all 3 of my Pinterest business accounts. Yes, she has 3, with the help she got from the program. And that, to me, at the end, they all had this light bulb moment of like, oh, I see how it all comes together. And that's what I love. And that's why we do what we do. So the 3 things, this is what we're going to talk about today. Creating your Pinterest marketing plan isn't hard, but it does require that you take a moment to pause. And I think when you pause and you evaluate these 3 things, then you can actually move faster. But I think a lot of times people don't even pay attention to these 3 things. They go way more tactical. And they go like, I'm so caught up in how many pins to pin per day, and I don't know which board to pin to. And is it 1 pin and then 7 weeks or 6 weeks? It just becomes too overwhelming. These 3 things that I'm going to go through, I believe, are the 3 core things that will lead to anybody being successful on Pinterest. 1, maybe you just think, well, I'll just wing it. Maybe you're a quick start. I'm not going to create a plan. That doesn't work. It does not work because you get caught up in that swirl of tactics. What I find is that the confusion is common amongst those, again, who need a plan, thoughts, ideas, and swirling. So I'm going to assume, because you're here, that you know Pinterest is an important platform for your marketing, but again, you're confused. You're looking for the best course, you're looking who has all the answers, and you don't have time to waste. So let's get to it. Actually, before we get to it, I want to say this, because this is something that I struggle with a lot too. You want to know if you're doing it right. I had somebody come up to me last week and she was like, Kate, how do I know if I'm doing really good? How do I know if my metrics are really good? And I said to her, like, that's a great question, And I ask that too, but you have to compare it to you because it's not helpful to compare it to somebody else. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board. Why Pinterest? I know this sounds like a really dumb question, but it's actually the question that I asked a lot of people last week. Why do you use Pinterest? I actually want you to put it in the comment box. I want to hear what those answers are. Why do you choose? You started a business. You intentionally made the decision to get your LLC, to get your domain, to get your business checking account. You did it all, right? And you know that you have to use tools to bring those people to your doorstep. Some of us choose Instagram. Some of us choose TikTok. Some of us choose, well, I like email marketing. I feel like that's a non-negotiable. So I'm just choosing the ones that are like quote unquote social media. But like, why do you choose it? Why do you say yes? And I find that a lot of people have never asked themselves this question. So I want to know, why do you use it? I'm going to open up the chat box. Kita, you said, I do not have a plan for using Pinterest, but I would love for it to be diversification of traffic. That is huge. You're right. Because diversification of traffic, it's a different type of traffic. It is a cold traffic source. And Instagram is a warm traffic source. I don't have this here because I didn't put it in, but a common phrase that I use is Pinterest is the library, Instagram is the bar. You use them for two different reasons. So you're right on point with that. Elisa, because I've heard it can be the best way to drive traffic to your website, your offer, drive traffic. Yes, exactly. It is Mary, you said it's a widely used search engine tool that our ideal clients use, and pins can be evergreen as opposed to social media. Yes, exactly. It is one of those things that is a traffic driver. So I use Pinterest. I put it in the bucket for me of Google and YouTube. Those are the same types of people. And I want to grow my email list using Pinterest. And I want to show that I'm an authority in this space. So that's a big one for me. I'm going to share with you that just recently I asked myself the same question about Facebook. Why do I use Facebook? I don't even like spending time on the platform. And what's really funny is I actually asked the team the question last week, why do we not use Facebook? Like maybe I need to wrap my brain around it. So sometimes we get a little like back and forth with all these things. But I did have to step back and go, okay, no one's engaging with the content. No one's having conversation with me. Maybe we need to do something different. 2 years ago, I did realize that YouTube was where my people were at. And I'm not going to say over those 2 years that I haven't wrestled with saying yes to YouTube because it's been hard. It's been an investment. And frankly, I've learned a lot in that journey about what it's been like to invest in Pinterest. You're going to feel like it's not working sometimes, but then it starts to work a little bit and then it starts to work a little bit more. It's not viral. I think this myth of virality and things going viral are going to be less and less and less. And it's going to be more about how do we use tools that create a consistent up and to the right for us. And that's not up and to the right hockey stick, but that's just climbing a slow mountain. And I think Pinterest does that. So again, I'm back at that thing. Take a minute. Why do you use Pinterest? And you answered a lot for me already. So if you've answered, you don't need to answer again. But just to reiterate, the point is easy to say. And want people to be honest sometimes. Like I use it because, everybody else tells me to use it. All right, here's the 3 things. Okay, one is content. You have to have content on Pinterest. Like, let me rephrase that. You have to have content on your website to grow on Pinterest. So a blog post is what we commonly say is one of the best things you can do to really grow on Pinterest. Why? Because people in Pinterest are asking questions. They're not interested in your day. They're not interested in getting to know you. They're not interested in following you. They are interested in having you answer one of their main pain points. And I have to say, it's a non-negotiable. I've wrestled with this over the years. People have asked me, like, do I really need it? Can I just lead it to Instagram or lead it somewhere else? No, you need to be creating at least one blog post per week on your website showcasing, let's say you sell a certain particular product. I want to know the 5 benefits of your product. I want to know how you can help me choose something based around what it is you do. For us, people want our how-tos, how to upload video to Pinterest, how to clean up your Pinterest board. They want to know how to keyword on Pinterest. They want to know what to do when your account gets marked as spam. We do one post per week. I have seen many people slow down completely and they will just recreate images, which we're going to talk about that next. But you have to have content, and updating your older content is good. But what some people do is they get fatigued by content creation and they stop creating blog posts, and then they just create a bunch of new Pinterest images. And what we've seen over and over again is that traffic tends to slip and dive, because Pinterest isn't just looking for new images so we can like trick the algorithm into like fresh content. They're actually looking for new stuff on the platform, because the people on Pinterest, they just are in there. Like they're in the app and they're saving and they're doing all these things, right? As creators, and that's what Pinterest calls business owners, if we're adding to that, Pinterest goes, oh, great, more to push out there, more to show to people. And time and again, people who create blog post content do better on Pinterest than those who do not. I recognize it's a little bit tough for people who are shop owners, but it is one of my non-negotiables. If you are spending all your time spinning, thinking, I don't know what to do about when to pin this post or when to do this, and you're not creating content, I want you to take that energy. I want you to put it into content. Second, strategic keyword use. I'll tell you right now, do not use hashtags. Why? Because Pinterest runs on an SEO model. And when you use hashtags, which it's been debated over the years, so I'm just going to say it at the top here, it breaks the keyword power that Pinterest has. So when people go to Pinterest, they search using the search bar. And by the way, people ask me too, what's the best keyword planning tool for Pinterest? Pinterest itself, this right here. The algorithm works because people on Pinterest put keywords into this box, and then it matches it up with those keywords. They don't have to be following you. They don't have to be engaging with your content. But if you are strong at your keyword game, then you will be miles ahead of those people who are not being intentional about it. So the places you put keywords are going to be your pin title and your pin description. Those are the two most important. There's three others too as well, but those two, if you do nothing else, it is going to be your pin title and your pin description. And if you're like, well, Kate, I don't know which keywords to use, go onto Pinterest and search it, just like you see in this screenshot here. Healthy meal ideas for dinner. It could be a ton of different things, but Pinterest knows, oh, you're searching this. We're going to search the platform and we're going to find a creator's content and we're going to share it with you. The third is your images. Just last week at our conference, one of the things that we did was we looked at a lot of people's images, and a lot of people had not refreshed their images. They hadn't even created a plan for their images to stand out against other people's images. So there's about 4 components that every image needs to have: a great title, an amazing image, a call to action, and a tagline. Simply just updating or creating 25 images per blog post is actually not helping you. I talked to somebody even yesterday, they were doing 10. And I said, well, how do you know which 10 is working for you? If you're doing 10 for every single blog post you have, you're doing 40 images a month. Are they all the same type of templated images? Is there any variance? How do you know what's actually working or not working so you can repeat the process with your images? And a lot of people are like, well, I don't know. I just heard that you were supposed to create a lot of images per blog post. Okay. Again, we go back to the why. Why are you doing it? How are you going to create images that really stand out, not only in your keyword? So here's a little hot tip that I didn't plan to add in here, but I'll say it. When you go in to look for keywords and you're searching the keywords that are part of your business, you go there, look at what everybody else's images look like. Sometimes they all look the same. Well, chances are they probably usually do all look the same. I just did this for my business and went and looked. And I thought, oh, we've got to change up some of the branding on our images. And Tabby, who works with me, she's the other Kate All box here. She's in the chat box. We said that. We were like, we have to change up what we're doing a little bit. We've been doing Pinterest marketing for 10 years. We've made changes, but now it's time for another change. We need an image refresh. So if you have not done that lately, I highly recommend that you do, because looking at these images here, you can see they all have the 4 components. And I understand, I'll be the first to say, images are sometimes super labor intensive for me. If you've not had a refresh, you can buy templates. There's tons of them everywhere. In fact, in our inner circle mastermind that I'm going to talk about, one of the weeks that we spend on, and that's most active, is we review your images. And then the peers review your images. And we go through and we're like, this is how you need to up your game. This is how you need to do this, because we know that this is one of the most important things. And when you get feedback from somebody else, that's the best feedback you can get, because I know I might think my images look great, but then somebody looks at it and they're like, I think you should change some things, which happens most of the time. I'm terrible at images. I have to have somebody else do them for me because I get so frustrated. I move so quickly. It's just not the best. And I just caught Erin, who does my images. Did you see the cool blogger with the smiley face? That's actually really creative, and it could catch somebody differently in the feed. So she did that to me. All right, here's 2 bonus tips for you. Agility and willingness to adapt to tweaks in your tactics instead of holding so tightly to old beliefs. So if you're new on Pinterest and you're like, hey, I haven't even been using Pinterest for 6 months, you might not have these old beliefs yet. But there's other people who have heard things in the industry for a long time, and they're so afraid to stop doing them that their whole Pinterest marketing will fall apart. I guarantee you it will not. We have gotten so really risky with our Pinterest account, sometimes doing just 1 pin a day, sometimes doing 25 pins a day, pinning multiple types of images. We've done other people's pins. Sometimes when you're willing to take a risk and do something a little bit different, you actually learn a lot about your Pinterest audience. You learn about what works and what doesn't work. So agility and adaptability, I would say, are the 2 other things that are really important in a Pinterest marketing plan. Actually, I lied. There's one more: confidence. So I would actually argue that this is probably the thing that will help you go the long haul with Pinterest, because sometimes we get knocked off and we hear, what other people, let's see, there we go, what other people will tell you. And we're like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing it right. Oh my gosh, I need to do this. Oh my gosh, I need to do this. And pretty soon you're like a pinball. I have used this. I've talked about last week. We were at a conference, so a lot of this is fresh in my mind. We spent 2 days talking with a lot of creators. And one of the things that I saw was very shaky for a lot of them was that thing of, I don't know if it's working. I don't know if I'm doing it right, because so-and-so over here, she's crushing it and she's doing video and she's getting 20,000 sessions a month. And I'm doing no video and I'm only getting 19,000 sessions a month. Let's compare you to you, because you have unique keywords, you have unique images, and you also have unique blog content. That is why those 3 things are key to any Pinterest marketing plan. And I also believe this doesn't have to take you hours. Somebody said last week, that was one of the biggest questions: how much time does it take you? They were spending about an hour, but they were doing a day. They were doing a lot of video. I would say that once you get into your groove, anywhere between 2 to 5 hours a week is what you can spend as you've mastered the platform, as you've mastered your system, and your Pinterest strategy. So again, there's a distinct growth path of those who take these tactics, especially some more deeper ones that we give them, put them into practice: images, keywords, blog posts, consistency. Here's 2 screenshots. And I share, again, screenshots can be the devil or they can be amazing. But here's why I'm sharing this. These are 2 accounts that are in the exact same space. One account is doing a lot of what we're suggesting, creating consistent content, updating her images, especially for holidays. And one is not. And I think a lot of it is like, obviously you're thin with time, but two, there's some old beliefs and old thoughts there. One is growing really consistently, and the other one is slowing down. And so when we take what we know works and we try them for a period of time, it works. Okay, so here's my interactive part. This is fun. I'm going to walk you through this rubric. And we use this rubric for almost everything. My friend Natalie Gingrich at the Ops Authority, she taught this to me. It has forever changed how I evaluate. So if you have a piece of paper, or if you're like driving or you're walking or you're doing something, I just want you to think about this. So on a piece of paper, you can draw what's working, not working, what's missing, and confusing. I I use this so much. I've even started using it in my personal life, like mentally. So I want you to think about what is working for you on Pinterest right now. What do you think? Like, if you could say, if we were in person, but actually you can put it in the comment box. Kate, this is what is crushing it for me right now on Pinterest. I am really good at this. So I'll go first and I'll say, I think we are really good right now at our keywords. Just recently, we went through this whole thing where we were kind of looking and going, okay, is this what keyword we want to target for? Is this blah, blah, blah? Like, I think we're getting really good at it. I think our images are good, but I think what I would say is in not working for us, they're good, but I want them to be better. And I think Tabby, who I work with our Pinterest account on, we kind of feel the same way. Like, how can we level it up and be a little bit different, but still keep our branding? I would also say, well, actually, what would you say? What would you say is not working for you right now? It's not moving the needle forward. You feel like you're hitting a brick wall. What's not working? I hope a lot of you put group boards into that. They're not working. And if you're using hashtags, you need to add that here too. Okay, what is missing? What is missing for you that you're like, man, I wish I had this because it feels like the missing piece for me? Some people say direction. Some people say guidance. Some people say confidence. Some people say I'm missing a clear path that gets me to move forward the next, how many months do we have left in the year? 6, 7, probably. I'm guessing May. When's the mid-year point? Anyway, I don't have a clear path that tells me what I need to do the next part of 2024. Or you could be at the beginning of this where you're like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. So put it in the chat box. And the reason I have you put this in the chat box is it actually helps us know where you're at and continue to make sure that our teaching aligns with where you're at. Confusing is scheduling. I would actually say, I would agree if this is yours too, as well, is that a lot of people are confused about how many pins, when to pin. And that's a big thing. That was a big win for our inner circle members is they came in with this confusion and they did not come out with that confusion. That was something they definitely wrapped their brain around about how scheduling will work for them. So this is your rubric, and use this whenever you feel like you get stuck. And when it comes to Pinterest marketing, lay out what are the things that are working, not working, missing, and confusing. And when we do that, then we know what's next to have us move forward. Pinterest marketing is a key to traffic and sales for your business in 2024. I still think it's one of the best organic and paid cold traffic drivers that are out there. Does it mean you give up on Instagram, TikTok, or your other favorite platform? No, it means that it is complementary as a search and discovery to what you are doing elsewhere. The two can work together. And here's one cool thing. I think Pinterest is in its second lift and its rise in users. In fact, they just did their Q1 2024 report and they're up to 513 million monthly users, which is pre-pandemic levels. And well, they grew in the pandemic. So actually, I would say it's even higher than that pandemic growth. They're invested in positivity and they really want to create a space for people to curate their own life. And here's a really important thing about Pinterest is that people are not doom scrolling. They are looking for things like your product, your content, your community that add value to their life. And Pinterest goes, yeah, this is what we want. We want creators that have something really great for our pinners that helps them do their life better, whether it's business to business or business to consumer. And they're very set on being different. In fact, I would argue I love that they've embraced this. I think during the pandemic, they tried to be TikTok and it was terrible. And they did the idea pins. And again, it was terrible. And now they're saying that's not who we are. We are Pinterest. It's almost like they're in their late, their, I don't know, their identity. I don't know. I was going to say adolescents, teenagers, you don't know who you are. So I couldn't say that. So here's how I want to help you grow your business in 2024. And is a little as 6 weeks, but it's going to be 6 weeks. I'm just being honest with that. So I mentioned in the beginning that we have a mastermind called the Inner Circle, and it's a product that we developed to help you grow your business using Pinterest. So what is it? So it combines a course, a mastermind, live meetings, and education all together in 6 weeks. Before we dive into the nitty gritty of what the 6 weeks involves, I want to show a comparison because we took what we do for our done for you service clients in our accelerator and we put it here and we thought, well, what if instead of people hiring us, which they still do, but there's some people that want to wrap their brains around how Pinterest works. A common question that I ask people is, are you a DIY type of person? Or are you a outsource type of person? And some people would say to me, I need to wrap my brain around it before I'm going to outsource. Or they've already outsourced. They have no idea what that person is doing. And so they say, I don't know what they were doing. I don't have a plan. I need to create my own plan first. That's why we created this. So we serve our clients through a program called the Accelerator. In that case, the team does everything, but it walks them through a strategic map of what we can do for them on all parts of Pinterest, right? But in this, you're being guided by our team through that process with data and creating a plan as you go along. We learned a lot from that first round too of how not to overwhelm you. So the overwhelm will be eliminated for you. So here's how it worked for these clients first before we get into the nitty gritty. Marley says, if you're struggling with consistency or wondering how to ensure exposure for your posts or your products, Inner Circle will give you the foundation and the strategy that you need. From keyword selection to pin creation, they have tons of best practices to guide your process. I've never participated in a course with such a generous and helpful and supportive team. I'm going to tell you about our team in a minute. And Dee Dee says, I went into the Inner Circle with no clear idea of how to use Pinterest. By the end of 6 weeks, I understood analytics and best practices and had an actual strategy to use them. So why the Inner Circle program? So like I said, some people want to DIY, some people want to hire it out. What we're trying to do for people in the Inner Circle is take that and say, you first, business owner, you create your plan, and then you have a choice. You have a choice to keep doing it because we figured out how to make it efficient, or you have another choice to hire it out to somebody, but you can say, this is what I want you to do. And then when it's not working, this is how we assess, because that's another important part of it. This is how we assess and audit what we're doing in order to move forward. So you're in control, you're in charge, and you yourself know exactly what is happening when it comes to Pinterest. Also, one of the things we heavily curate is something called experience shares. I am a big believer that a mastermind will not work if people around you are saying, you should do this, you should do this, you should do that. You don't need that. You need the powerful business advice from somebody who has done it, who have actually put into practice what they're sharing and teaching. I love the phrase, nobody should be should all over. You need coaching from somebody who's done it, who could say, we have tried this with this account and this is how it worked. You now can make the decision. Do you want to do that as well? I'm not interested in anybody being in a mastermind where they get a bunch of ideas from other people and then they end up leaving more exhausted than they came in. I have had that happen to me, and I do not want that experience to be your experience in the Inner Circle. So we're bringing together knowledge, support, and expert business advice so that you, again, can create a plan. You can get to point A to point B way faster. So here's how it works. The number one goal is that you come out of the program with everything set up on your Pinterest account, established, and you have a system built for your Pinterest marketing, and you don't need anything else. You're not going to be searching Facebook groups. You're not going to be looking for another course. You can say, I now have all the tools to build, grow, assess, and audit as I move through my Pinterest marketing. Week one, we definitely connect with you. Without connection, you actually don't know who you're actually interacting with. So we connect with, you connect with our team, we connect with you. You connect with the mastermind. It's all in Slack. I'm also not interested in having a Facebook group. So it's a Slack group. I love Slack. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your desktop. We use it for our team. I was really resistant. If you've never used Slack before, I promise you, you will love it. So when you join the inner circle, you come into Slack, you introduce yourself, people introduce to you, we say hi, and you leave your Pinterest account and we start there. We just connect. This is Sarah and Emily. Your teacher will be Sarah. I'll be joining you for the first call and the last call and lurking around in the inner circle group. But Sarah is our one of our team managers, and she has so much experience. She's the person that I go to and I say, hey, do you want to try this? Hey, do you want to investigate this? She is amazing. She's such a great teacher, and she went through our last inner circle round and taught those people in that group. In addition, Emily, she's worked as our account specialist here at Simple Pins for years. She's going to also help any questions that you have based on her experience, not only with accounts, but she does a lot of our consulting for clients here at Simple Pin who just hire us for consulting. So you'll get to know them at first. And in that first call, I'll be there with you. And again, I'll be lurking. Branding form. Branding form is really, really important for us to know what your goals are, what your brand is, what you plan to do in the next couple of years, why you're using Pinterest. So yes, it's for us, but it's also for you. It's a time out to stop and say, okay, this is who I am, and this is what I want to accomplish on Pinterest. Then we have that kickoff call. It'll be May 20th on Zoom. All calls will be recorded. The cohort will meet together for that kickoff call. We'll do an outlining of the roadmap of what we'll cover over the 6 weeks. Again, we don't want any confusion. How our team can support you, where you can ask questions, and how, as an inner circle member yourself, you can support the group as well. Week 2 goes into assess and audit. This is where we're going to show you how to do an audit on your account. It's going to feel overwhelming at first, but we're actually in the last round, we did it kind of all at once, and we found that it was super overwhelming for people. So we're going to actually pull that back, and we're going to tell you how to do it, and we're going to stagger it over the 6 weeks so that at each point you actually know how to assess too, like well beyond the group, but it'll be our exact process for how we assess and audit accounts on our end. And this is also a time that we want to make sure all your tech connections are complete. We have resources that we can make sure that you get. Let's say you want to do verified merchant or connect your catalog, or something's broken. We have referrals to people who are pretty low cost who can help you do that. So this is the time we make sure like nothing is broken, everything is connected. Also, we establish your keyword bank. We help you. We don't do it for you. We help you establish your keyword bank. These are the keywords that are going to be your base. They're the ones that are going to help you get seen. Okay, by this point, it is a few busy weeks, but don't worry, we're going to pause and we're going to catch up. So week 3 is cleanup. It's not going ahead. Week 3 is clean up and organize your Pinterest account. This is something that you can probably do while you're streaming your favorite show. But we have a detailed PDF about how to do that, and we'll walk you through it. That includes settings, profiles, boards, everything. These are great foundations here. Week 4 is mastering images and video pins. This is when people get the most, I would say the most chatty in the group, because we know that images are key, like I just talked about, and we provide for you 5 templates in Canva to really get your creative juices flowing. And then we come in there, we give you expert feedback, tell you what to change. You kind of have to be ready to receive that. If you feel really, precious is not the right word, but you feel really bonded to your images and you don't want somebody to tell you, like you might have to like take that coat off and put it at the door, because we want you to have great images. And sometimes that requires giving really honest feedback. We're not mean, of course. We're so delightful. And once you meet Sarah, she's like the most delightful person, along with Emily too, as well. They get to like read bedtime stories. They're so sweet. So that is what we're doing in week 4. And then we pause. We have a working and a Q&A call. So this is where we block out an hour. And if you are stuck at any point, you come on the call and you just say, Sarah, I need this. Emily, I need this. Like, I want to get unstuck from this place. This is June 11th. And we'll have a link for you in just a second where we'll outline all of those things. Week 5 is pinning. This is the magic week. This is where we get into pin scheduling, when to pin, what to pin, how often to pin, what scheduling tools that we like. Spoiler alert, we really like Tailwind, but we have a lot of experience. Sarah has tested so many other scheduling tools that she can give you feedback on what you can expect from other ones. I need to take a sip of water. Okay, so that is week 5. Week 6 is strategy, and our final call on July 1. If you are Canadian, I know that's your Canada Day. It'll be recorded. We'll make it easy so you can pop in and pop out. So that's it. Strategy and wrap up. You now have all the things to pull together a Pinterest marketing plan. You have support. And at this point, you can decide. We will have a monthly option for you when it comes to consulting if you need it after that going forward. But our hope is that all the questions will be answered, all the tools will be delivered to you, and you'll just be able to go from here. 6 weeks. Why 6 weeks? Here's why. Some people do things last minute. In fact, I talked to one of our Inner Circle members from last time, and she was like, okay, I had to mad dash, rush through all these things at the end, but sometimes I need that. I need the squeeze of knowing when something's going to be done to get it done. And that's what I don't love about courses, is that there's no accountability and there's no like squeeze to be able to finish it. It just lives in your inbox. So if we took and we put this all into 6 weeks, we knew accountability would be built in and we knew you had to finish. And I'm not interested in somebody spending their money and not getting the result that they're looking for. We want that for you. So why us? Why are we the ones to help you do this? Because we believe in data. We're not teaching something that's worked for one person. We're teaching one that's worked for many. And we know how to be agile. We know how to adapt. We know how to try different things. That goes to our experience. Our team has worked with hundreds of accounts. We know that what works for one doesn't work for the other, but we know what to test and we know what to tell you to test to get to that result. And community. We are a community-minded company. We believe a rising tide lifts all ships, and we want to see you rise. So we want to take what we know, take what we've done for other people, and we want to help you get that. Does this work? Yes. These are actual numbers from a recent accelerator client who went through, who basically that's the exact same program. This is what they got in those 6 weeks. The accelerator program is $3,000. So if you want to hire us, we're ready for you. We have an opening right now. But if that is not in the cards, that's not in your bank account right now, then the Inner Circle is just 20% of that. We're offering Inner Circle right now for $597. If you join by May 15th, there is a hard close of this particular group. You can pay it all at once. We'll drop the link in the chat box right now, both on YouTube and here in Zoom. You can make 2 payments. You'll see on the checkout page, there's 2 payment options over 6 weeks. It's just 2 $300 payments, or you can pay all at once. So again, the dates are join before May 15th. We are starting May 20th, going until July, a little bit after July 1st. We have our last call on July 1st, but we know there's some lingering things that happen that following week. So we have official close of the program. I believe it's like July 6th or something. It will say in the sheet, but we make sure that everybody is feeling pretty good at the end. So if you're wondering if this program is for you, here's the very clear things that I would say. These are your checklists. You know it's for you if you have 2 to 4 hours a week to work on these tasks. Just like any mastermind, it takes investment. And I want to be clear about that. You need time, which means if you have a lot of travel coming up, I wouldn't suggest this for you right now. If you are in the middle of a rebrand, I wouldn't suggest this for you right now. But if you know that your Pinterest account, your images, your keywords, and or your strategy need help, it's for you. You're new to Pinterest and you have no idea what you're doing. Or you're coming back to Pinterest marketing. I've heard that from a lot of people, and Pinterest feels different to you. You don't know what you're doing and you want to have a reset. Also, you may have taken so many courses, you're so confused at this point, you actually don't even know which way is right anymore. So, we're opening up 20 spots this time. We did 15 spots last time, and we are expected to fill those up. So if you want to join today. Right after you join, you'll get an email that will take you into the Slack group, into Inner Circle. So what can I expect after the Inner Circle? Here's what our results are for you. A fully optimized Pinterest account, Pinterest images that get clicks, a keyword game plan, optimized. I see that error there, optimized for Pinterest search, a pinning strategy that works and doesn't take you hours, and a 2024 Pinterest marketing plan that fits for you, your business, not somebody else, but just for you. So I'm going to leave this here, but you can join the Inner Circle by going to simplepinmedia.com/IC. It is a Google Doc. It has a lot of words on it. So if you're a fact finder, you can read all the details there. It'll go more detailed into what is happening each week. But I want to leave you with this before I do some Q&A. I know we're almost at an hour. Like I said in the beginning, like I'm passionate about business owners getting the right tools. And I'm not interested in, we just wanted to make this so good that we want everybody who goes through it to come out saying, yes, I got what I need. I don't want you coming out the other side looking for more courses, more opinions, more feedback. I want you to feel confident. And I could say with confidence, that first group, that's what they got. And in that last call, when I listened to them, they were like, oh, just now it all makes sense. Now I have a plan. And that's what I want for you as well. So if you have questions about the Inner Circle, drop them below into the comment box. I know Tabby might be doing it, but go to simplepinmedia.com/IC. Again, we start on May 20th and the cart closes on May 15th. So I'm going to take some water. Amber, are you running this program in the future? When and how often? I'm interested, but I'm worried about joining this time of year when I'm busiest. Such a great question. So we do have plans. We think it's going to be great, but one of the things is we want to make sure that people are getting good results, right? So this is our second round. If we do it again, it will be in the fall with a third round in September. May, I get it. May is crazy. If we do it in late August into September, we want to get it done before any of the crazy holiday time. So yes, our tentative plan is September right now. So great. And one of the things we learned from last time was if you are super busy, I would suggest not taking it and waiting. That's how I would approach it. I do not want you to be even more busy. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Yes. Amber, I got that one. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time and spending time. I know that your business time is really important and it's valuable. And it's one of the things that we really, again, like to caretake for. So if you have any questions about the Inner Circle, you can DM us on Instagram at simplepinmedia, or you can email us hello@simplepinmedia.com. I have an ask. If you know that this program could be really good for a business colleague, a friend, or someone else, when you receive the email for the replay, will you share it with them? That would just mean a lot to us. And we want to continue to impact people with great Pinterest marketing advice. And that would just be super great. So there's that. All right, everybody, have a fantastic day. And I look forward to connecting with you all in the Inner Circle. And thank you again.